We're going to talk about the North Branford Land Conservation Trust. Did I say that correctly?
That's correct.
That's a mouthful. North Branford Land Conservation Trust, and my guests are two people from that organization. We're going to talk about the 50th anniversary celebration. Sitting next to me is Patty Meglio, and sitting next to Patty is Bonnie Szymanski.
That's correct.
Patty and Bonnie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
I know a little bit about land trusts. Mm-hmm. I know a little bit about park associations like the Sleeping Giant Park Association. And I know about different towns having park and rec departments. How are you similar and how are you different?
Do you want to answer?
Why don't you, do you want to start and I'll fill in?
Okay, so the land trusts own the land, and they are either deeded the land by the original owner or they purchase the land from an owner, and they own it forever, and it can't be sold. The land trust has to go by what's put in the deed, and usually the deed will say that the land needs to be kept in its natural state forever. So you can't go in there and build on it, you can't sell any part of it, and you can't put buildings on it. You can keep it in its natural state. You can probably put trails in it and take care of it and make sure that it's cleaned and clear, and it's open to the public as well.
Let me add that the Land Trust is a nonprofit organization. It is not part of the town.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas a park and rec or another commission is part of the town. So we're totally independent, and our land is available for anybody to walk on at any time.
That's important to mention because
Absolutely.
when you hear the word North Branford first as a part of your organization, somebody's going to think it's a part of the town.
Correct. Yeah.
True, and a lot of people have felt that our trails are private, and they are not private. They're in the trust of the people of North Branford.
Right, right.
So we all own it.
So you're the trustee,
We're the
and you own
trustee.
it for anybody and everybody, right? Now, I don't live in North Branford. Am I allowed to go to any of
yes.
your properties and hike and take pictures and whatever?
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good.
And we'll give you a private tour if you want.
Great,
Yes.
that's good.
And we hold hikes at different times of the year, organized hikes, and we have people in our organization that are very good at leading hikes and showing off some of the landscape, interesting landscape things that are there. There's all kinds of landmarks on our hikes, and it makes it a lot more fun because then you get some history of the land and what it looks like.
The other thing is that the land is always changing.
Right.
So a fall hike is so different than a spring hike. And, I do a lot of work with children, and it's really important to get kids out in the wilderness because it's not just they're appreciating the beauty of the land. It builds self-confidence, all kinds of personal.
Right, and it's also a very healthy thing for people to be out in with nature, to breathe the air, and it's very relaxing, and it's good for your well-being. It's a very healthy way to spend your time.
We're going to show some pictures that you can see some of the things that they do in the North Branford Land Conservation Trust. But Bonnie, you mentioned children. What do you offer for children that other organizations don't offer, or how do you specialize in activities for children versus activities for adults?
Good question. I think one of the things is we're a very small organization, and we're trying to involve the families in North Branford more. So we're a small organization, and we would like to be larger. My background is as a school library media specialist. So I spoke to some people over at Totoket Valley Elementary School, and I worked with the fourth graders there and brought in different seeds, brought in different feathers, brought in different birds' nests, things that one might find on the trail. And then the kids did some research and they did presentations for their ecology fair. And then they asked me if I would take students out on a hike. Way back, I don't remember the year now, probably 1968, the Northford Garden Club created a trail system behind Totoket Valley Elementary School with the idea of having an outdoor classroom. And then it just kind of got overgrown and nobody knew it was there. And then it's been rediscovered. So a couple of weeks ago, I took 120 kids, three groups of 40, out on the trail and showed them the difference between a pileated woodpecker hole and a regular woodpecker hole in the tree, skunk cabbage, trout lilies, pine trees, the cluster of a pine tree, 5 needles versus 3 needles. And the kids were great, really responsive.
What is your background for teaching this? Obviously, you've gone to a forestry school or have a forestry or wildlife background.
No, I don't. But when I was a school library media specialist, one of my parent volunteers was a landscape architect. And so she approached me about building an outdoor classroom at the school that I was at. So I worked with her and somebody from the state, and we built a trail system next to the school.
Patty, what do you bring to this organization as far as your background and interests?
Well, my background is as a technical writer and also as a communications specialist. So I bring fundraising opportunities, I bring grant writing opportunities for the group, and I also do a lot of marketing for the group, newspapers, Facebook, and other things like that.
So you do the operations, so
Correct.
The organization can do its mission. Am I correct?
Right.
Bill, it's all about teamwork.
Yes.
All about teamwork. That everybody has to pitch in or it doesn't work.
I've noticed that with your organization because I had 2 other guests from your organization here before, and Jim Payne has been here for both of the interviews, and from what, Patty, from what you've told me before and what Jim has told me, you have quite an active organization and a well-oiled machine.
Yes, it's grown. In the last, I would say, 7 years, it's really become very active. A lot of people are really pitching in, both taking care of the trails, marking the trails, and cleaning up, but also in the organization part of things and trying to get the word out about who we are and what we do and why we're important to the community. So,
I want to talk about your anniversary special,
Yes.
but first I want to go through the pictures.
okay.
And then we'll get into the anniversary special. We're showing pictures right now. And the first picture, Tree Talk. What is this trail?
Well, this is one of our trails. I believe it is.
Is that Village Street?
I think it's the village. I think it's near Village Street. But we have several trails. We have a Notch Hill Brook Trail, which is in North Branford, and we just we took ownership of the Harrison Farm Preserve just recently. So that is also in North Branford off of North Street. But we have a lot of trails that we take care of as well that we don't own, like some of the town trails. We try to help keep them marked and cleaned. So we had a program about a month ago called Ask the Forester. And one of our members, our active members, is an actual forester. And so we had like a quiz show, like a wait, don't tell me quiz show, and invited the public to come and learn something about trees and forests, and we had a lot of fun with it. And it doesn't have to be all serious. There's a lot of fun in learning about forests and learning about trees and learning about nature. So
Let me add that we put an Ask the Forester link on our website. And
I
so if
saw
you
it,
have
yes.
questions about your trees, like what is this strange thing going down the center of my tree, he'll answer it. to the best of his ability.
Next picture, Notch Hill.
Notch Hill Brook. That's one of our first trails, and it's in North Branford off of Ciro Road. And it takes about maybe 2 hours, maybe a little less, to do the whole trail. I don't remember how many miles it is. Do you know how many miles it is? About 2 miles?
I don't know, but it's got some very interesting geological formations.
Right. A lot of really beautiful rocks.
And yeah, it's a great trail.
And there's wonderful, wonderful fauna there as well, and flowers and all kinds of things that are coming up right now on the trail.
Okay, this one here, the third picture, is this TVES Trail or Treads Trail?
Yeah, that's the Totoket Valley Elementary School. That was the one I mentioned before that was started by the Northford Garden Club. And it's a great trail right behind the school, and the kids have access. It's owned by the town. We help them maintain it, but we hope that they will maintain it. There used to be a lot of cedar trees, but cedar trees need sun to grow, and it's been shaded. So now the forest has changed. And so, and there's also like a little rock, there's this rock ledge that is from the time of the dinosaurs. There's some very interesting stuff going on there. It used to be an old farm because you can see remnants of the old farm there.
A cistern and a water
And a
trough.
trough.
Yeah. There's
And-
also a really nice bridge, as you can see in this picture, that the Boy Scouts did for us.
You have Boy Scouts doing some work for
Yes,
you, right?
we do.
We try and get everybody.
Next one, we have quite a few pictures to go through. The next one is, what's this one called?
The Metabasset hike. Yes, this trail is up in the northernmost part of Northford, and we did this hike last year on Trails Day, on one of the Trails Days, and it kind of comes together where Durham and Guilford meet North Branford up at that corner, and so there's actually a blue trail that runs through there, and we did a really nice hike through there. There's water, streams and waterfalls and that sort of thing. It's a beautiful hike.
I like this bridge here at North Farm Park.
Oh, yes, that's beautiful. That's a town-owned property,
Okay.
and it's right off 139. In fact, we are going to have a celebration there in a couple of weeks for our 50th anniversary.
Oh, okay, it's going to be there. We'll talk about the anniversary
right.
in a little bit. The next one, here you talked about teamwork. This is a group picture. You did a cleanup day, and
Yes.
you got your logo there.
Yes.
You got your banner there.
Yes, this was on Village Street. We own about 26 acres in that area, and we started a cleanup about a year ago, really working on, we got a grant for about $1,000, and a lot of that money went towards cleanup of invasive species on that property.
Oh, okay.
So invasive species are usually things that are not native to America. They've been brought here from another country. So they're things like barberry, which is ticks really are attracted to barberry. So we're getting rid of those kind of things.
Right.
Multiflora rose, wild rose, they take over.
And they ruin the natural species of plants there. They take over that area and they crowd out the natural species. So if we get rid of the invasive species, the natural species will come back and it'll be much better. It'll be much easier to walk through and enjoy.
Here we are, another cleaning property. You must have had a cleaning day, right?
Right.
We have work parties often,
Right.
usually once a month,
Once a month.
on different properties. One of the things you do is clear invasive species. You might mark trails because it's faded. You might post our logo to show that it is our property.
Next one, well, this is a nice one. You just sent this to me yesterday, Patty.
Right,
It looks
right.
new.
Right. This is from our photography hike that we had about 2 weeks ago over on our Notch Hill Brook Trail. And we had a person who His name is Patrick Volk, and he's from Geomatrix Productions, and he's a photographer. And so he gave us hints on photographing nature, and a big group of us went out and took loads of pictures of the trail. Not only plants, but there were flowers, and beautiful flowers, but there were toads and beautiful rock formations and all kinds of great things to photograph. So
I wish I could have gone to that one.
it was a lot of fun.
And is this next picture from the same session?
It's from the same session, and this is a trillium, right? Is that correct? I believe it's a trillium that was found on the
purple trillium?
Yeah,
Is it?
that was found on the trail. Yes.
Working with schools, Bonnie, was this your activity?
Yes. So this year I worked with Totoket Valley Elementary School, and they were all doing little iMovies about nature. So one group did something about how you can tell poison ivy, another one did about flora and fauna. They researched about burdock and different kinds of seeds, and they made little iMovies that they presented to the rest of the students in the school.
And ecology fair, is that the
Yes,
next
so
one?
this is when I took the students out and was pointing out the difference between the two woodpecker holes. You
Okay.
can see the one at the top is round and the one below it is more oval.
Let's see a close-up of those two holes. And last photo, you have Arbor Day for the kids.
Okay, so the forester in our group, Mike Ferrucci, he helps and teaches the kids how to plant a tree. We were very fortunate this year that Van Wilgens donated a beautiful linden tree, and we got the 6th grade from North Branford Intermediate School, the science classroom, and the kids came out and we quizzed them about trees and sun and all kinds of things, and they were pretty good. And then we planted the big linden tree, and then we planted some smaller trees. What our objective is there's a little plot of land that the Land Trust owns, and we're building a tiny forest.
My guests are Patty Meglio. She's a director and the fundraiser chairperson for North Branford Land Conservation Trust, and Bonnie Szymanski, who is a director with the North Branford Land Conservation Trust. Now let's get into the celebration.
Oh,
You have
yes.
a 50th anniversary celebration coming up.
That's right.
On June 2nd.
Right.
Tell me about it.
Okay, well, our land trust was first formed in 1968 by a small group of people who were interested in keeping open space available in our town. There was a lot of development going on at that time, and so they wanted to preserve some open space for everybody to enjoy. So over the years, they've done that. We've acquired quite a bit of property. We have about 53 properties so far, worth about, and they were about 250 acres all total together. And this year is our 50th anniversary, and so it's a big anniversary for us, and we would like to invite the public to come and enjoy it with us. And so we are having our anniversary celebration on Trails Day, which is June 2nd. And we're going to start it out with a hike from 9:30 to 11:30 at North Farms Park. And then after that, we are going to have food, and an annual meeting will take place during that time. And also we are going to have several guests. We'll have music from the Last Hayride, which is a local group. And we'll also have Horizon Wings will come and bring some birds to demonstrate.
Good. Good.
So it's going to be a meet and greet with the birds.
Right.
I've heard of Horizon Wings before, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because when I had Hank here last time, or maybe.
They're a rehabilitation, bird rehabilitation.
Oh, I know. Now I know who they are. Now I know who they are.
So
Yes.
they're going to bring a couple of owls and red-shouldered hawk and kestrels.
Okay. North Haven Camera Club had a trip there. That's why I
Oh,
know. I
yes.
didn't get to go that day, but
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a few pictures from their trip.
They're
Yeah.
very, very nice people. And
They
The
do
kids
good
are
work.
really kids are really fascinated with birds, as are people, especially owls.
Right.
You know, my husband woke me up the other night at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, "Did you hear the owl? Did you hear the owl?" So we have one in the back of our area.
Is your husband a member of the North Branford Land Conservation
Where
Trust?
we have a family membership.
Good,
Yes.
good. And do you have kids who belong or have belonged?
I don't have children,
Okay,
so no. The answer is no.
okay, all righty, good.
But
We-
kids are definitely welcome to join us on our activities. So
You know, another thing I did a couple weeks ago is we had a presence at the North Branford High School Science Fair, and we had a table, and there were a lot of adults were clearly interested, and the kids were curious. The kids were curious. They're interested in preserving the world. You know, they've got a bigger scope, but we certainly would like high school kids to help us to clear invasives, and I know that there's a group at Lyman Hall Ag School that are studying just that.
I know you're not in the school system in North Branford, but are you able to tell me if the North Branford school system has a good environmental science program?
They have a great one, actually. One of the things they do at the high school is they have a greenhouse and they grow things there. In meeting with the principal and the superintendent, they're very interested in getting the kids outside, getting them get fresh air and exercise, and they've been very responsive to doing anything with the land trust.
Yes.
Very supportive.
and we're definitely welcome them to come and work with us and also hike with us. You know, participate in our programs that we have.
The other thing that's really nice is there is a public trail at Evergreen Woods, which is an assisted living senior housing in North Branford, and we've done hikes there, which is great. I think it's so important to get all generations involved.
Yeah, yes. So you're there for the kids, the adults, the senior citizens.
Right.
Do you allow dogs on your hikes? Or
Some on
Sometimes.
leashes.
Yes.
okay, on leashes. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
This has been interesting. North Branford Land Conservation Trust, Patty and Bonnie, thank you for being here today. Good luck with your anniversary special. You sound very enthusiastic about what's going on in your organization and what has been going on.
Well, we're also going to have games for the kids that the teachers have offered to supervise those games. So please
We're gonna
come and have a good time and have some hot dogs and hamburgers and listen to music from the Harrisons
Yeah.
and meet the birds.
Okay. And I want to thank our crew, Owen Bigler, Trinity Collins, and our station manager, Walter Mann. Thank you for watching.